5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're old, groaning like a geezer.
That's quality animation right there, folks. You notice that the pitch of the song, the guy singing, as soon as Submariner came on, went up. I don't know what that means, but I'm not even sure why Submariner. I guess this was like an intro, like for all the Marvel cartoons that were like 1968 or 67, whenever they were, and Submariner had his own cartoon. But yeah, definitely. Someone actually suggested to me, we're doing the Avengers, by the way, this week, Bronze Age Avengers, and someone suggested Submariner to me. And I'm like, when was Submariner ever in the Avengers? Maybe we'll get to the bottom of that. You're, of course, watching Graybeard's Studio. This is episode 124, and we are drawing the Bronze Age Avengers. Let's bring in our crew and get this show on the road. Everybody welcome David Williams. Hello, David. Are you a fan of the Bronze Age Avengers?
What is that?
That's like from 1970 through 1980, roughly.
Oh.
Whatever the lineup was at that time, in that 10-year span. I got a list. I can read it. I'll go over a list here.
Do a crossover with the Justice League so I get to draw Batman?
I mean, I guess you could work out a roadmap where that actually worked, but I don't know if they did it in the 70s. So here's a guy that conceptualized this whole madness. It's Gary Martin. Hello, Gary.
Aaron?
Yeah.
As you know, that in checkers, a king is a man with another man on top of him. In life, you see where this is going. In life, that's actually called a queen.
Oh, here's a guy who would never be accused of being a queen. It's Dan Lawless. Hey, Dan.
What the hell did I just hear?
It's
share my screen. Hey, share my screen.
Every week I'm trying really hard for that PG rating. Somebody ruins it. Yeah.
Stronger than a whale, he can swim anywhere. He can breathe underwater and go flying through the air. The noble submariner, prince of the deep, will be ready any day. Lord Faber of Atlantis is the prince of the deep.
That was actually good.
That's a little fancy. That's a little fancy, that entry out there of
that always cracked me up. Yeah, that always cracked me up that the voices go higher and higher and higher, and then they have to bring it in with the guy lowering it. Like,
what do they say when he can something any sea creature? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, probably we don't want to know what he. Oh gosh, that was. David, I have a question for you. Speaking of deep voices, I was going through like different Avengers openings to put onto the show, and I came across the Avengers versus Thanos or something, and Thanos's voice sure sounded like Kevin Grievous to me.
I think it might have been.
Okay, I was just curious if you knew if Kevin actually did the voice for Thanos, because it was deep and booming, and I went, God, that sounds like Kevin. So.
He wrote some of those as well.
Okay, well, there you go. I bet it was him then. While everybody's before we get to the chat, let me go over this real quickly so people can be thinking. Here's what I have for a 70s lineup, okay, for the Avengers. Black Panther, Ms. Marvel, Yellow Jacket, Wasp, Falcon, Cap, Hawkeye, the Beast, the blue furry version, of course, the Vision, Iron Man, Thor, Scarlet Witch, Power Man, Jocasta. And then, of course, the Mantis and the Swordsman was in there as well for a while. So those are
on CNN.
Joke. It's the guy. No, it's some Ultron chick. Joe, I don't know. It's like some metal.
Did the Swordsman have any, like, did he have a magic sword or anything, or he was just a guy good at fencing?
I think he was a guy that was good at fencing. That's why they killed him.
And they made him an Avenger.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was an Avengers villain in the 60s, but then he joined the team, and he died in spoiler, Giant Size Avengers #2. There was this I guess it was like this weird Mantis and Scarlet Witch were both in love with the Vision, who of course is a robot. So that's weird to begin with.
Yeah.
The Swordsman was in love with Mantis, and of course she was shunning him. And so then he gets killed in Giant Size Avengers #2, and then she cries, holding him, going, "Oh, I always loved you. I'm so sorry." Blah. It was kind of, it was heartbreaking for a 10-year-old kid. But
well, Randy says that the sword had
sword
gimmick.
Resurrected.
What's that, David?
I said, then his magic sword resurrected him.
Yeah.
Randy says the sword had gimmicks like the Mandarin. It was designed by the Mandarin.
Oh, it was. Okay. Well, see, these people, they know stuff. And I've just conveniently forgotten a lot of this stuff.
So that's all it takes to become an Avenger.
It's a magic sword.
Magic sword.
Oh,
now didn't
Marcus says the Swordsman trained Hawkeye.
No, that's true. Hawkeye, but he had like, gimmicky arrows, right? That makes you a superhero too, if you have like explosive arrows. There was I did a scene when I was doing Damage, that quasi Hulk book for DC. He fought the Justice League, and as a joke, Robert Venditti put in this scene where Green Arrow shot this arrow at him, and it turned into it was like a punching, like a boxer glove, and he went boink, and they just dropped off of him. It's pretty funny, but apparently that was in his repertoire at some point. They had the boxing glove arrow that he shot at people to punch them. So that's
Corey says he's got. He says chicks dig my nunchuck skills.
Yep.
The question I would have is, how are your computer hacking skills? Because that's if your girls really like guys with nunchuck skills and computer hacking skills as well.
Yeah. I'm not sure I got that joke, Dan, but
no, you didn't.
Working on it. Keep working.
I know you didn't.
I know the Napoleon Dynamite reference, but
it's a Napoleon Dynamite. You got it. Then you did get it.
Okay. But the computer skills, I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, he said that you gotta have skills. Skills, nunchucking skills, computer hacking skills.
Okay, I got you.
He's not good at computers.
John is here. John without an H, that is. He says he's the first gray here, so we'll give him that credit. Corum is here. Pastmaster Dan, Repairman Jack, Pantheon, Rand Arrington, Stealth X5, Sequential Artist. Greetings, Aaron and Graybeards and chat. Excited to see some semi-classic Avengers assembled today. Semi-classic, okay. Creative Faye is here. Randy Howell, all the way from Canada. JP Roca. Every time I see JP Roca, I think of Almond Roca. Do you guys ever have that like for Christmas and stuff? The candy, Almond Roca? No?
Maybe, but I don't remember.
It's like coffee with chocolate, and then it has nuts on the top of it.
Okay. Yes.
I love Almond Roca.
I didn't know that's what it was called, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, there we go. And if you buy it in a store, it was always wrapped in like gold foil,
So it's special.
Yeah, but it was never one of my favorites. But that's not a commentary on JP Roca. I'm just saying when I see Roca.
Are you part of the the empire, the candy empire.
That's right. Well, no, I mean, I'm saying I don't like that candy too much, but I do like JP Roca. So Pity Maw is here. Headless Bourgeoisie. Jimmy Owens. Hey, Jimmy. Henry Jeremick is here. He says the Mantis was original version was a martial artist, green and yellow costume. That is correct. She was how do you like? I guess Shang-Chi was a superhero, right? And all he did was no karate or whatever, kung fu or whatever he did. So I guess that makes you a superhero too. Bruce Lee was kind of a superhero, wouldn't you say that, Gary? It's kind of sad that you didn't put him in your book, but because he is kind of a superhero.
I really appreciate you bringing that up again.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to keep it real, as the kids say. Lone Star Viper is here. Now they're complaining, of course, everybody's complaining about starting the show late. We were actually talking about guests and potential guests, and it got carried away. And then
we had a highly secretive conversation that we cannot reveal.
A powwow.
Very, very, very secret. Marcus Killigrew, purveyor of all things pop culture knowledge, is joining us. Iodine 74. Oh, here, Creative Faye, I think she's sticking up for us. She says, all these people complaining about them being late doesn't realize that they're just gossiping about the chat backstage. There is some of that. Did you see the Avatar? I don't believe it, that sort of thing. Okay.
Well,
can you believe that person?
This week, we were not gossiping about people in the chat. We were gossiping about other people.
That's right. That's true.
Very specific gossiping.
Yeah, that's right. But we were gossiping. So Matthew Muma is here. Alex Gordon. Corey Landis is here. Let's see. Bloody Drake is here. Skull Nasher. Quoth the Raven, Louis Bright. We haven't seen Louis Bright Raven in a while. Let's see. Who else?
Okay, Corey says he's decent at tetherball. So now he's all set. You don't need even
I know I get the reference for that too.
You don't need nunchuck. You don't even need computer hacking skills. If you're good, you can land the girl for sure.
Did that work for you, Dan?
No, but Napoleon did though. He got out there at the end. There was a romantic scene. He's slapping the thing and he's whacking it really hard. And
he's slapping the thing and whacking it really hard.
Yeah, but as you recall, it didn't work.
Oh,
he asked the cheerleader to come play with him, and she just rolled her eyes.
No, Deb, the girl, I think it was Bev or something. The girl at the end,
the girl he finally got to be his
the one he was
playing tetherball.
His love.
Last scene when the credits rolled, I believe.
Yeah, it all worked out.
It all worked out because he was slapping.
He was slapping and whacking it.
Whacking.
Dan.
Can I not say anything anymore? Oh my god!
Oh, somebody's gonna clip that, Komanga is here. Jay Dredd is joining us. Gollum Wolf is here. Best Age Comics.
Tetherball. Oh my god!
Stealth X-Bomb for $2.
Dan,
thank you for that, Stealth.
I have never ever heard somebody put it that way.
You said.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, it does not get any better when you say tetherball, does it?
Oh boy!
No. You mean it's tethered to something? Wow, that's geeky.
Oh my gosh! Biblia Bob is joining us. How about that? We haven't seen him in a while. Alex Art joining us. Hey, there's Coran Kaiser Stone said that's what she said, Dan. So yeah. Slapping and whacking with Dan Lawless as Headless Bourgeoisie.
Hey, I deserve it. I should have known better.
You're priceless. You're priceless.
I'm gonna stick with you for the rest of this show.
It was an innocent mistake, for goodness sake.
No,
you guys, get your minds out of the gutter. What the heck? I'm talking about a sports game here, a sports game.
Dan, you were laughing as you were saying it. You knew exactly what you were doing.
No, I was.
Rewind the tape.
Rewind it. I'm laughing all the time on everything. So.
I think Dan started laughing when I called him out for him, Gary, just for his defense. And so, because I jumped on that the second he said it. So, okay. Whew. All right. Let's do a little show and tell, shall we?
Aaron had to get up and walk around before he could continue.
No, I think I heard Shelly yelling, and I assumed that was, will you keep it down? So I went and closed the door.
What are you talking about down there?
Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's do a little show and tell. David, do you have anything you'd like to share with the crew?
Yeah, I sent you something. Check it out. I'm just kidding. All right. Show some more fearsome.
Oh,
a new page. Can you see that? Okay.
all we got is black.
All you
Nothing
got
but a
is
black
black?
screen. There you go. There it is. All right, here we go.
So our main is running in his sleep, and he's in panic mode and about to get hit by a car. Stops right in front of him, and she's like, "Get your ass in this car," because this is his neighbor that he met earlier in the story, who helps unlock some things about the fearsome character. So that's the latest. And so this is the sequence that happens, like in the back of the ambulance, and some craziness happens. They hit a tree, all hell breaks loose in the back of the ambulance, breaks out, he's running.
It's great. So dynamic.
Yeah.
It's dramatic. It has impact.
How can I? Okay, I'm drawing a splash page of a guy, just a regular guy, running away from an ambulance. How can I make it dynamic?
Ladies and gentlemen, he did it.
Yep, there it is, right there.
There's only, what, about 13 pages left to go on this, isn't there?
Yep.
If Ethan will finish the script, Ethan, finish the script.
Chop, chop, Ethan.
There you go. All right.
And we're not encouraging anyone in the chat to message Ethan and tell him to finish the script. We're not.
Yeah, we're not encouraging that sort of behavior, but yeah.
But if you happen to do it by accident,
If you just happen to do it, you know. Gary, I don't see any. You know, are you going to hold something up?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go.
is
I
it
am
going to
going
be
to
the thing? The
flash
thing?
this.
Yeah.
I'm going to flash this. It's not what you think. So I'm only going to flash it once. If you don't see it, that's too bad.
Excuse me, why I
It's
whipped
my
this out.
Yes, my Frankenstein piece, my 16 by 20 Frankenstein recreation. I'll show you how much progress. I'm about 3/4 done. So you ready?
Oh, ready.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
That's all you get. And
Yeah, it's one of the greatest images from the Frankenstein series too. That is probably, if not the best image from Frankenstein. It is one of the best.
David decided to sell his Truth, Justice, American Way artwork in batches. So I'm going to try it too. So I have 2 batches. I'll show quickly. I have 3 covers. Cover 1. Cover 2. Cover 3. I'm selling these on Comic Art Fans for $450 each.
They're cheap.
I'm running a special, all 3 for $1,000.
There you go.
And
Oh,
I've got
wait.
8 pages of the interior artwork. Here's the opening splash page. 8 pages and 3 pinups. So these are all like double page spread.
Those are great pages, man.
Look at that.
Those are awesome. What a book this would have been.
Yep.
Yeah, don't you guys feel ripped off if you
You
guys
should. You should feel ripped off. Look at that. This is what it should have looked like.
Yeah, that would have been great.
And then there's a pirate with an iron jaw.
Here's a double page spread that I was in the middle of working on that I was told to stop inking. So the blacks, it's done except the blacks aren't filled in. And then I've got, let's see, some pinups.
Oh, nice.
This was going to be in the letters page, not this one. This was going to be in the letters page.
Oh.
And then I've got this one.
Baby.
So that's 8 pages of story and 3 pinups for $1,000.
So those are all up on Comic Art Fans right now.
The covers are.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to buy the whole stack, it's $1,500 for everything. So it's $1,000 for each lot, or $1,500 for everything.
There you go. Fantastic. All right. Thank you, Gary. And let's see what Dan Lawless has in store for us.
Well, I did this on Monday on Ethan's Comics King show.
On that,
and I thought
on that competitor's drawing stream?
Yeah. But I don't think people really could see it. So here it is. And I did sell this piece to a guy that I met actually at Garden State, a guy named Chris. And
Chris
so this is it. Chris Decker. Yep. There's my Conan. That was pretty cool. And I am coloring it. I started coloring it anyways. So that's kind of the colors.
Ooh. Nice.
Yes.
So I'm having fun trying to do it. Kind of, yeah, a demon of some sort. So I thought it was pretty good for a live sketch. You know how it is, how challenging it is to do these live sketches, but kind of happy with it.
Right.
I like the Conan more than the demon, but yeah.
Well, he's the bad guy.
It's cool. I'm just saying it as far as the drawing quality. I just feel like his face needed a little bit more, like he's in pain, or something.
Well, see, Dan can say this because he already sold the piece, and he can, you don't want to say that.
I'm nitpicking my piece. I think it's a good piece. I think it's a really good piece. So, anyways,
absolutely, very nice.
That's fun.
Karen Kaiser Stone says, David makes me want to be a comic book artist every time I see his pages. Damn, Gary's ink, cherry on top. He wants to be a comic book artist until he realizes how much we get paid, and then he's like, "Nah, I really don't want to do that."
Yeah,
and that would be smart.
I could almost do it, except they don't pay
for the crappy pay trade.
Yeah. Almost,
that's fabulous.
Almost, he's almost there. He's not quite.
All right, I'm going to share something if I can. I got to find it though. You'd think I would be prepared for this stuff, but
you would think
just getting the video of the Avengers opening was challenging enough for me. Let's look at Dan some more while I look for mine.
Dun, 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 dun.
So Dan, talk about the greatness of your piece.
The greatness of this piece. I am so satisfied with this. It just gives me great satisfaction. I'm very happy with it. I have evaluated myself, and I found myself to be excellent.
I appreciate you holding back on that you didn't open with it.
Wow, I'm really, really good.
You're growing.
Look how good I am.
So I got a haircut recently, and that's going to be my beef today. But this was my experience. If you just reverse the characters, that was my haircut experience.
There you go.
Did you ask
in my version, I'm the hero.
Okay.
Did you ask for the Wolverine, the flare?
I found mine. Okay, so this is my print that I finished for San Diego that no one will probably buy, but at least I put the work in to get it done. Because people are lining up.
Why wouldn't they buy this print?
Somebody in the chat,
Ron Carter of Mars,
buy this print from Aaron in San Diego. That will make his entire weekend.
That's right. And this is at the printer right now, and my sketchbook that David Williams came up with, and then Billy Tucci came in over the top as well with the same suggestion. And I finally caved and did it. So I put together a sketchbook of, it's a 20-page sketchbook, but there's art on the cover as well. So basically 24 pages of some of my Graybeard's stuff. And so it's a Graybeard's studio sketchbook ash can type thing that'll be available at San Diego. I limit it to 100 copies, signed and numbered, and whatever's left, of course, I will, from the convention, which probably will be more than I would like, I will then offer it up just for sale on my website. So,
Aaron, could this be displayed vertically?
Well, no, it couldn't, because the city would then be on its side down there.
Well, the city could be just like growing out of the side of a mountain.
Yeah, if I flipped it, that's kind of, I don't know. What would this look like? Let's see. Let's go. All right, there it is.
See, that works right there.
It kind of does.
Hang on a second. Let me stretch this out. Yeah, so.
You know, I think I like that better.
Except for the city. If I put the city right down here, really tiny right there, it would have worked, wouldn't it have?
Just Photoshop it all out.
Oh, I set up this composition like this. You guys are.
Well, I mean, what is that lion?
It's really
thing?
a pretty cool composition. Either way, it's good. But
what's that creature called?
A banth.
Okay, this banth thing is really moving, because that a girl is hanging on for her dear life, and look, she's horizontal, so he's really moving.
He is, yeah. And they're apparently going to fall to their death. I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
It could be like an opposing planet too. Like it doesn't. It could still be like maybe he's on a moon, and then that's another moon in the background that you're on an angle. So as is, it actually could be displayed this way.
Well, except Mars only has one moon.
Oh, it has to be Mars. Okay.
Well, but you know what? I know that, but it's like, it's aliens.
No, it looks cool that way.
Yeah, so you throw a couple extra in there, and
yeah, why not?
See, when you get some nerds together, they're gonna overthink it and just ruin your art.
Yeah, go, dude, that can't be Mars. And why is it red? Why is it orange down here, or Chinese red down here, and green and blue? What's going on here at the,
I think it's exciting this way too. Probably better.
Well, this is how it's staying, so I hope you all get used to it.
I'm gonna ruin it even more. What are all those phallic symbols?
Okay,
oh boy,
here we go. Let's get that. Let's move along here.
Actually, I got something else. It's kind of
Aaron, zoom in on what David is talking about.
No, that city is very sort of Frazetta inspired.
Oh, okay, Aaron.
I got something else that's kind of fun to show, Aaron. If you might, I'll show it quickly.
Yeah.
It's not finished. It's a thing for Chrissy Mayer, and they're doing a show somewhere at this villa, and
that's Chrissy in the middle.
So it's the Continent Hotel, and so it's going to be a bunch of their comedy celebrities. There's Cecil, there's Lila.
Are those girls going to be there?
Yep, everybody in the picture. Yeah.
Who's the midget girl?
So you can see there's people I've just sketched in. I keep adding people to this, So they're all comedians. They're all gonna.
Could you put me in this, even though I'm not going to be at the event?
Of course.
Yeah, be like a little
eating a corn dog.
I'll draw you right here, snuzzling her boobs like.
Okay.
Hang on a second. We know Chrissy Mayer, but are the other girls actually girls, or are they just rando girls thrown in?
No, they're actual celebrities. They're all internet. There's Zia right here.
What do you mean? And then celebrities.
Internet celebrities. So
okay,
and comedians. They do comedy, and of course Cecil. So a lot of these people will be doing their stand up.
One at a time.
Personalities. Internet celebrities.
They do podcasts.
Well, Gary, I think they are celebrities for the internet crowd.
Yeah, sure.
Draw me in there as a ninja, and there's a sign behind me that says "No ninjas allowed."
I want to know who the midget girl is.
That's Lila.
Yeah, who?
Lila. She's always on the show. She's on the show, Chrissy's show. She does shows. She does, I think she does some stand up. Most of these people do stand up,
Is she really that tiny?
Yes, she's a midget, whatever you call it.
Oh, okay.
And that's
challenged
Keanu and her husband, and so there's a lot of people here, and
that's really great.
I keep adding more. So
what this stuff reminds me of is when Frazetta used to do those kind of parody movie posters, or
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
Exactly what I was thinking too.
There you go. Well, you hit it, man.
So, yeah. Anyways, that's the thing. So it's going to be a big poster like this, and it's got some scenes back there too. It's a lot of work actually, but
yeah.
So where is this place?
The Villa Roma.
Where is it?
It's somewhere in I don't know, New Jersey or something. I forget, but New York area.
Okay, never mind.
It's not in Portland.
Anyways, it's a nice place. It's a wonderful.
Despite it being in New Jersey, it's a nice place.
It's in New York. No, I think it's probably in New York area, upper,
upstate,
in the nicer areas of New York.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
upstate.
A beautiful place. So go over there and you can. I think tickets go on sale. If they're not on sale yet, and enjoy all these people and hobnob with them and all that kind of stuff. The grounds are beautiful. The ballrooms are great. The pool, golf. You got it.
Stop pushing the event. Let's show the girls.
Well, no, I'm curious now. So is this a thing where like internet celebrities, if you will, internet comedians, whatever, personalities, they will put on a live show?
Sure.
Like doing their internet shtick?
Well, Chrissy's a regular stand-up comedian. I mean, she does shows everywhere. She's on the circuit. And a lot of these guys that I'll be drawing in here are also stand-up comedians.
Oh, okay.
So
but
some of them may be more just like internet. They sort of on Chrissy's podcast with her or her Simcast, that kind of stuff. So,
I see.
It's all a bunch of people. It's a new media. You got to get with it, man. Go with the times,
I offended Coran.
Yeah, easy on Jersey, Gary. Well, you sounded like you were like, oh, where's this at? I might want to go. And that's why I said, well, it's not in Portland, Gary. So you're probably not going to.
Well, if it was in Portland, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's too dangerous.
We're trying to sell this thing. Come on.
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't go because it's too dangerous.
It's not in Portland, though.
It isn't. It's in New Jersey. So, or someplace.
It's not in New Jersey. I don't know where it is.
East Coast,
it's a great
somewhere.
place. Wherever it is, it's fantastic. And
where it is, that's awesome.
And you should all go.
We're awesome people. Go. If you want to be awesome, go to the awesome place. Right here.
But I have no idea where it is, but it has to be awesome.
All right, I'm looking it up now.
I just looked it up. It's in Compton.
It's in LA. Oh. It is not. It is not. There's nothing in Compton anymore, is there? They took right, I'm thinking Inglewood. I'm sorry. I was going to say they took the Lakers out of there, but that was Inglewood.
Marcus says the Catskills.
There you go. Marcus Killiger knows stuff. So, and people are read the chat. It's all there. They say Headless Bourgeoisie says Cecil is a sit-down comedian, not a stand-up. That's good.
Terror Movie Trailer says, look for burning tires and you found the place.
That's a fabulous poster, though, Dan. It really is.
Yeah,
very nice work.
Yeah. I think
all right. So let's get the show on the road. David, who are you going to be drawing today?
I'm not going to draw Batman, as everybody assumes that I would, but I was going to do Wonder Man, the original.
There you go.
Green one. But I already did the drawing, so I'm just inking today.
Okay, I think let's see. In English we call that cheating, but that's okay.
It's cheating if it was a competition.
That's true. And this is why it's not a competition, because everybody cheats on this show except me, of course. Dan, what are you thinking?
Black Panther.
Pardon?
What?
The Black Panther
Oh, I thought you said black man.
from Africa. He's the
Like
Black
bringing
Panther
fun.
from Africa.
Black man. Okay. Good luck with
No,
that.
Black Panther. Don't you know?
Doesn't David, you have a character called Black Man? No, it's Black Power. That's what,
No, golly, you do that every time.
Aaron, pray
Yeah.
tell, why does David have a character called Black Man?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, it's Black Power is what the character's name is.
Seriously?
Yeah, see, he does. He's got a big old.
Wait
throat.
a minute. That doesn't
does.
sound right at all.
Yeah.
Dan is disturbed with that concept of Black Power.
Yeah, because I can see the other side of it would
That
be
doesn't
good, right?
sound right.
Yeah. So you're saying it's okay if I do White Man?
The other side is in it, so
Yeah, so no, Aaron, your
You'll get some
character is
satisfaction.
White Power.
White Power? Okay.
White powder.
White powder. Shoots like cocaine. Everybody
That's
wasted.
his superpower. He's all hyped up.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, he's like cocaine bear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so tempted to do the Vision again because I did the Vision a while ago and I really did a crappy job and I kind of want to try it again and do it good. But then,
You want to redeem yourself? Is that it?
yeah. But then what if I screw it up again? Then it's like there's no redemption. It's
Double
over.
whammy. Did you do a little sketch like I told you? Tiny little thumbnail?
No, man.
Oh, gotta work
Aaron,
these
if you
things out.
mess, Aaron, if you mess this up, I am never going to let you forget it.
I know. That's why I'm not going to do the Vision. I'm either going to do Scarlet Witch, Ms. Marvel, or I'm not doing Jocasta. I can't even get it out without.
No.
I once made a bet with somebody that I could draw a picture of the Beast. I think I was doing Excalibur at the time, and they had like the Dark Beast was in there. It was kind of like the anti-version of the Blue Beast. He was like gray or something. And I said, I bet I could do a color drawing or a crayon drawing of the Beast and sell it on eBay and get at least $100. And I did it. It was actually a pretty nice drawing of the Beast, but it was in crayon. Just did it in crayon.
I like the Beast.
Aaron?
He's a great character. I almost was going to draw the Beast.
Aaron, could you clarify one thing?
Yeah.
What did you draw it in?
Crayon.
You could do stuff with crayons, no problem.
We did an episode with crayons that it was that was we need to get back to that a little bit is not only the subject matter because we're on 120 we've been doing this for 2.5 years now, this show, and so we've drawn just about every category. We need to start like remember we had the ballpoint pen episode?
We stopped pushing the envelope months ago.
I one of my kids had one of those coloring books of Mickey Mouse and stuff, and I took it and I literally colored it with Warm and Cool color palette, and I did like a really nice job. There's this coloring book image, and I'm like, and it's wonderfully sophisticated colors.
I used to do that in restaurants. Like you go into like is it not Applebee's, but one of those, or Red Robin.
Wherever you draw on the paper, you draw.
Red Robin, they would have coloring books for the kids, and they have like 4, primary colors for crayons, and that's it. I would go in there and just like, do these as good as you could do, colored, coloring book colors and stuff, and these kids are like, my.
Do you ever go to the restaurant where they have the paper on the tape and and you just draw on the tablecloth? So I would always do stuff on that, and the waitress would always come back and go, "Holy shit!" Like I just drew a full image of something. They're like, "Oh, I guess you know how to draw."
Did it ever get you a discount on the meal though? That's
no. But if they were smart, they should have grabbed the paper and wiped off all the grease and everything, and sold it on eBay.
Well, good plan, Dan. Good plan. So Aaron, are you going to draw your Scarlet Witch or whoever in crayon today?
No.
Big talker.
Would it be too predictable if I did Ms. Marvel?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I figured it would
Challenge
be.
yourself. Give me a vision. You can do it. You can do it. I know it.
All right.
I want to see.
Oh my gosh. Gary is going to just roast me if I can't get the vision right. But I'm
That's
going
the
to
challenge. Live on the edge. You got to live on the edge
yeah.
here. You know,
All right. Because I do want a nice vision drawing because I have not been able to accomplish one for some reason. I can do the Spectre really well, but the vision for some reason is not working.
Okay, I'll give you that. That if you, in your opinion, not in our opinions, in your opinion, you failed to your own expectations with this vision piece, that will cement you in your determination to persevere until you do one. So you will continue your vision quest.
Oh, see what he did there? All right. I'm doing it.
Hey, Aaron, close your eyes
Yes.
and just imagine the character in your mind.
Turn that damn phone off.
Well, John Smith, who apparently is yeah, there he is. He's in the chat. He sent me pictures of he's got a vision that I commissioned. I did for him. He just showed me. He just sent that to me, and then a Dark Beast picture that page he bought from Excalibur that he just sent me on my phone.
Is that the vision? On the QT, Aaron, is that the vision that you weren't happy with? The one that he has?
Well, the one I forgot about that one. No, that one's brilliant.
Oh, okay. A different one.
Oh, well, hey, this guy,
I'm thinking about the one I did like a couple weeks ago on this show that was just awful.
Okay.
Can this guy send it? If he can send it to me, I'll bring it up on the computer.
Oh, well, maybe I don't want you to bring it up.
No, you said it was good, right?
Well, yeah, of course, because I'm not going to tell somebody that got a commission from me that, oh, that really sucked, man. That one's pretty good. We'll see what I do today.
Can you share it?
That's on my phone. I don't have to download it and then come on. I got to draw. We're like so far behind on the drawing.
Yeah, you're late. It's almost 3 o'clock. And
we got to get cracking, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden
that's why I
Wolf
picked
for
the Black Panther.
$5.
It's kind of simple.
You can do it, Aaron. Okay. Golden Wolf for $5 says, you can do it, Aaron. You just need to have a vision and follow it. Yes, I have a vision. Terror movie trailer saying nude vision. Oh, is there even such a thing? I mean, it's a robot, right? But I guess Scarlet Witch was in love with him, so he must have all the working parts, I would assume. I don't know. Okay, let's get to it, gentlemen. God, the pressure's mounting. Look what I did to myself. All right, here we go. Now I have kind of an idea in my head. I have a vision in my head of what I want to do here. Let's see if I can successfully.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the streams where you start drawing late, I almost said the streams where you start drawing late, just because you're kind of stalling, you're not really that excited about.
Well, it's not that I'm not that excited. It's that I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that makes me a little bit nervous, but me sitting here stalling doesn't really help me think of
Okay.
So we're actually showing people.
See, if I'm thinking something, I assume everybody else is thinking it too. So I'm giving you an opportunity to, dispel the myth.
I'm already starting over. Okay,
we're giving people the full drawing experiences, including the procrastination.
Yeah, see, Jay Dredd.
Dan, did you just do layouts for your piece?
Yes, that's what I wanted to show Aaron. I said, look, this is what you got to do. Your homework, okay?
Yeah, so you're trying to justify your cheating.
I worked out these figures, so now I know where I'm going. They're not really worked out. I mean, they're as rough as can be.
Well, you know what you're going to do, though.
But yes, so I know. You got to have a roadmap. You're going to end up somewhere else, So I.
What'd you say, David?
I said, how is that any different from what I'm doing?
Well, yours is like done.
Yeah, you got to finish it. You cannot have a thumbnail larger than your thumb. If it's larger than your thumb, then I call it cheating. Then yes.
Yeah, it's no longer a thumbnail if it's.
How do you know I'm not Black Elias?
We don't know.
See, my thumb is huge.
Now I think you might be.
We've never seen him on camera, so
Yeah, that's a very random sort of thing to say. So I'm beginning to get suspicious.
maybe he is Black Goliath.
That's what I'm saying. Why would he say that?
How did Black Goliath get his powers? He must have had something to do with Hank Pym, didn't he? I got the first issue, but it's been so long since I've read it, I can't even remember. Does anybody know?
Nope.
You're asking the wrong crowd, Aaron. You have to be asking the chat.
Well, that I kind of am
from
asking.
his Black Pappy.
What did you say?
His Black
I'm
Pappy.
trying to. It like dawned on me. Like, wait a minute. The heck? Oh my God.
You know, this makes me think of a you know that movie that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan did, the cop buddy movie.
He did. They did a couple of those.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour. They put a like whoever has that streaming now, like Netflix, whoever, put a disclaimer on the front of those movies that they were, you know, from a different era and could be considered offensive or racially sensitive. And I was just like, can we stop being a bunch of wimps in society that, you know, it's like they put those warnings on Warner Brothers cartoons now. It's like, gotta be kidding me.
I went to the Formula One film this past week.
Oh, yeah.
I highly recommend it if you're a motorsport fan. It's really good. But at the end of the film, they had the, you know, disclaimer, no animals were harmed. I was like, wait a minute. There were no animals in this film.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely. It's all in the racetrack. There aren't like, you know, horses running around or anything. So that has become, I guess that's become a thing that you have to put that disclaimer if there are animals in it or not.
Or they were joking about it.
No, it was part of the credits.
Why would?
No, I'm saying that they put it in the credits as a joke, you know.
They're not that clever.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't give Hollywood that much credit. But that is that's interesting. Why they would have that disclaimer in there? Now, everybody, I'm reading this is a good movie, but
it's
is it better than Ford versus Ferrari?
That's a matter of opinion. I would say it's at least as good.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. I had high expectations, and they were exceeded. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Wow. All right. There you go.
What was the one with what was the one with Chris Hemsworth? Was that Ford versus Ferrari?
No, that one was
good too.
It was a Ron Howard film.
What?
It was a Ron Howard film. That was.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was called though.
Yeah, Hemsworth is way too big to be a Formula One.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big dude. But I thought Ford Ferrari was one of the best movies I've seen in it's come out like the last 10 years. I really
I like that movie a lot.
Garrett, it sounds like a movie too. This new one you mentioned, it sounds like something you want to see in a theater too, probably, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Rand Arrington, Bloody Drake, they're all saying Rush. Thank you.
Rush,
Scott Christie Jones. Yeah, Rush. Henry Jeremick. Did I miss anyone?
So basically, everybody in the chat knows the name of the movie except us.
Yeah.
Now we know it because
I thought I said it.
Did you say Rush?
I think I said it.
You might have.
All right. Well, Dan knew it, and everybody in the chat.
Well, I can't say I knew it. I said it.
Well, you were correct. So
Aaron,
I was correct, but I didn't know I was correct. I think.
Aaron, we're going to play a new game. It's called Guess Who Said This in the Chat. You ready?
Okay.
Quote, Aaron isn't trying to draw the vision again, is he? Oh my God. Did he not learn a thing?
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say
only
John
one person
Beatty.
talks like that.
I'm going to say that's John Beatty.
Correct.
Oh, John.
Poor Aaron, too. Oh, my God.
No, I mentioned this at the top of the show, but I'm really surprised at the people of professional ilk that watch this show.
You're surprised that anybody with any credibility watches the show? Is that what you're saying?
Although you're always like you'd hope that maybe your peers would check it out or something, but you never really think that they will. But then you kind of, it goes to a different level when none of them will come on the show. So does that mean that they're watching a train wreck and they can't turn away and they don't want to be a part of it, but they kind of want to watch it? Or,
well, I think they watch it sort of as a confidence builder. You know, like, hey, I'm way better than these guys.
That's right. They have their own show.
Yeah, artists don't do that, do they, Aaron? Isn't that
I really feel bad about myself.
What Wizard magazine was for?
Oh gosh.
To change the subject, but it needs to be said. Where'd it go? John Platt asks, how is Wraith of God Fear Hollow coming along, Aaron?
Inking page 48 right now. There's 64 pages in it, so that means I've got 15 and a half pages left to go. I'm hoping to have through page 50 by Monday. So, I mean, honestly, I'm probably 10 pages behind where I would like to be right now. But I think it looks really good. I think it's a really good story. I'm really pleased with it. So, but I don't.
You don't say so yourself.
Because I hate making you guys wait, but I am more. Right, it is progressing, and we're moving along on it. So there you go.
He doesn't say so himself, Jerry.
Yeah, it's an excellent story. If I do say so myself, Gary.
Okay. Because, of course, you have to say that. You can't say, yeah, I've got, 14 pages left, and this really sucks.
Well, can you imagine? As you're trying
to, I gotta finish it and move on.
It's like,
well, that was,
I got 15 more pages to go, and I really wish I had none to go. Oh, this thing blows. You just don't want to. You probably don't want to go down that road.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole point of doing a book this way, is that you can put everything into it 100%. You can't do that, working for Marvel or DC.
True. And but the thing is, you can
except if your initials are JB.
But it's like you still have to be concerned about being late, though, even if you're doing your thing. It's
but aren't you thinking that most backers or fans will give you a pass if you're late because you're putting more into it?
You would think. And and of course, in terms of crowdfunding terms, me being late is not the same as a lot of other people being late. Let's just say that. We're talking like a month later than I would like, as opposed to, a great deal of time later, which, we'll just leave that at that, I suppose. But you do have this sort of, when you start, it's not that big of a deal. You're kind of like, yeah, I got time. I can. But then when you get near the end, and it's like any other deadline, right? You're kind of like, I just redrew a page like last week. And I was like, can I really afford the time to redraw this page? Because that's pencil and inks, right? So that's another at least 2 to 3 days. And yet I kind of was compelled. I kind of felt like I had to do it because I didn't think the storytelling was clear.
How long does it take you on an average to ink a page of Wraith?
I am really, that's why I don't ink a lot of my own stuff, because I'm really slow at it. I mean, I can pencil really quickly, but inking is, and there's so much cross hatching and so much detail in this stuff that I'm averaging about a page every 3 days.
3 days.
Pencils and inks, which, you know, I would like that to be faster, but it really, I haven't been able to do it faster than that. So.
Yeah, well, let's see, to my point, if this was a Marvel or DC book, you would not be spending 3 days to ink it.
No.
For one page.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not. I would be making different inking choices for sure.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
If this was Marvel or DC. So. And I mean, you sit there and you think, well, if I ink it myself, I can be looser on the pencils, which is true. But then if you're doing all that extra work in the inking stage, I don't know that I'm saving myself any time. You know what I mean? Because then inking takes twice as long because only half the pencils are there.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. Beatty says Jim Aparo did a page of pencils, inks, and letters a day.
Well, no offense to Jim
Aparo.
What was that, David?
I said bully for him.
Yeah.
I don't think
there's always those freakazoid guys out there.
Well, but these guys weren't doing the level of detail that I'm putting in this either. And, you know,
right.
I mean, Buscema's drawing was fantastic, but you couldn't sit there and accuse him of putting in a ton of detail. But they were working under the guidelines.
Different. Exactly. That's
a totally different
universe working for a company like that than doing your own project.
And that's why I think, you know, a lot of these guys don't get the credit they should get, because some of them put out some really outstanding work and did it very quickly.
Well, that's how, you know, the ones that were the longevity of some of these pros able to stay in comics for as long as they did is that they were able to produce at a very high rate.
Yep.
There's a good question here. Scrolled. Iodine 74 says, Aaron, how many hours does that 3 days account for? Is it like 3 times 8 or is it crazier?
You know, it's really, I don't ever get a chance in my life to sit at the drawing table for 8 hours uninterrupted. So it's always an hour here, 2 hours there, 2 hours here.
Right.
And so it's very hard.
It's hard to keep track.
To keep track of the actual time spent on the book. I had a little bit more when I was working for DC and Marvel. It wasn't all that different because my kids were little. So, you know, and I would volunteer at school for recess duty and going on field trips and things like that. And so you'd maybe do some work in the morning and then your whole afternoon would be blown. So then you get the kids home and then you got to feed them, you get them to bed. Then you're working from, 9 o'clock until 1 in the morning, to get so it really hasn't changed all that much.
Yeah, I'm punching a time clock with this Frankenstein recreation. I'm writing down my time I start, time I finish. I want to know exactly how long it's taken me to do it.
That's cool because I'll be interested.
So like I'll listen to music or on YouTube or a book on tape on YouTube, and it tells me the timestamp, and then I just write that down.
That's good. I should do that because that's one question you get asked all the time. How long did that take? How many hours you got in? And you're like, I don't know.
But you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, 6, 7 o'clock rolls around. I started at 8 in the morning, and then I do my tallies, and I've only, worked for 3.5 hours. I was like, what did I do today? Well, I took an hour lunch, and then I exercised for a while, and then I mowed the lawn, and then.
Well, yeah, and okay, this is typical. This is what I got up this morning and went and worked out, right? So I get back, and then I'm like, oh, I got to walk the dog. So I walk the dog and then I get back and I'm like, I haven't had breakfast yet. So then you eat breakfast, right? And so then you sit down for an hour and work on the, drawing or whatever. And then you're like, oh, I got to take a shower because I got to do GRAYBEARD'S, right? And so then you go take a shower. That takes time, right? And you're like, oh, I better eat something before GRAYBEARD'S starts, And so you find it. You've worked maybe an hour and a half before we do this show. Then I got this show and then this Star Trek after this. And, I'm like, I've got to get this page inked today. So I'll probably be working, I'll get back to work at like 6:37, 7:30 at night and go till midnight or something to get it done. Right. It's just, yesterday we had to babysit I'm not going to say we had to, because we obviously enjoy doing it, but we babysit the grandbaby. So we spent most of the day down there, and you get back and you're like, okay, I got to try and, cram in some hours before you fall asleep, which it's harder to stay awake later than it used to be too. Us old guys now.
And then for me, my concentration level is not what it used to be. Nothing is what it used to be. But for this, this Frankenstein piece, an hour max, and then I just have to stop. I can't concentrate any longer than that.
Well, and the other thing is too, is like, you're like, oh, I better post something on social media about the campaign, right? So you got to type that up and you hit 3 different social media things and you do that. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I got to get my quote from the printer. So you type up your quote and send that off. And like I talked to you guys earlier about that, I had, just finished I spent all day Sunday. I had to do my show on Sunday, but then I spent all day Saturday and Sunday coloring that John Carter of Mars piece for San Diego and putting the sketchbook together. Then you got to take it to the printer. It's all these little things, right? And they and it's every day and they add up and it's like, I got to get to the drawing board, So, I mean, these are excuses, obviously, and, no one cares about excuses, but that's sort of the reality of when you're absolutely doing everything yourself. It's like, that's why Dark Horse has a bunch of employees, that do this stuff for them, because then they're more efficient in getting it done.
Beatty's not buying any of this.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't expect him to. Beatty's just jealous.
Did Beatty see my kneaded eraser technique for getting the stuff off the?
Yes, Dan. You roll it on.
Yeah, but I know. I just want to make sure John Beatty saw
it. Roll it on, and you tell us how happy you are with the drawing while you do it.
TM Dan Lawless.
Oh. There's always these little. You always pick up like little techniques from people that you hadn't thought about that I always find very interesting. Except Beatty. I haven't learned anything from Beatty. Except to be on guard constantly.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Put your kids away. Beatty's here.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of
Dan, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
Beatty says, I've done that for decades, Dan.
All
right.
Nothing. See, Dan, why? It's like, why do we even try? Beatty's just waiting to step on us. You put a guy in Mount Rushmore, and this is what happens. Yep.
Decades.
Decades. All right. This isn't a very good scan, but
Dan, now would be a good time to do that thing we were talking about earlier.
If you can remember what he's talking
about. He doesn't remember.
He doesn't
remember.
Now that Aaron is in his drawing, let's have him bring up the campaign of Fearsome.
No, not yet. Wait, look at this. Look at this Buscema pencil. I think that's
pretty loose.
But I love how he draws the Hulk. Did Buscema ever have did John never drew the Hulk in the series, did he?
I don't know, but you're right. I always loved his Hulk too.
I guess he drew him in the Fantastic Four when the Thing fought him, but other than that,
I thought Sal did a decent Hulk, really.
No, Sal was like a how should we say?
Being diplomatic.
He
his
was
Hulk. If you remember his Hulk stuff, it was really he had that character down.
The
I agree
Buscema.
with you, Dan.
Sal's faces were always very flat to me, like very sort of where John's faces were very three-dimensional, and he just
I think Sal's faces were formulaic. He just kind of repeated the same.
Yes, which is okay. I mean, he was a fine, sort of Marvel House style artist.
Yeah,
he was solid.
But,
yeah,
and I liked his stuff. But John was to me just sort of next level.
Yeah, he was just he was, as Stanley said, the Michelangelo of comics, kind of.
Yes. And I always appreciated that sort of I always felt that Sal's stuff was a little flat, and John's had depth, and that's one thing I always looked at. That's why Chuck Jones is like my favorite animator of the old school guys, Warner Brothers guys, is because I always felt like his characters had some weight and three-dimensional quality to them, where I felt like Freeling and other guys were kind of flat. And and that's, to me, is always the goal, is to turn that two-dimensional surface into a three-dimensional feeling, at least, because at least as much as you can get out of on a two-dimensional surface. And I'm sure John Beatty agrees with me.
You are.
Or just get something a nice design too. There's guys that aren't necessarily three-dimensional, but they're great designers. They put together black and white compositions. Ignola was one of the guys we were talking about earlier. He he wasn't exactly a three-dimensional guy. But his style, the design of his panels, the design of his darks and lights is really what makes his stuff sing.
Yeah. John says, this is how I compare Aaron to David.
I'm bracing myself.
Sal to John.
Is there?
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, Sal to John.
Oh, that is a low shot, man.
Okay.
See, he says Aaron did an okay job, but he's no David.
Well, here's the thing. I never put Beatty on the my Mount Rushmore of inkers, by the way. That was Gary who did that. So,
Aaron, what does that have to do?
I'm just saying that maybe some people on the show respect Beatty's opinion more than others. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
No,
you wanted him on, didn't you?
Yeah, the chat is exploding with their opinions of Sal.
Well, see, you can't ever touch like an artist that someone grew up liking.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because it's so built into the nostalgia factor that it doesn't matter if they were good or not. Did they have an effect on you when you were a kid reading the comics? And that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of situation that I'm in, is I grew up with Kirby and Romita and Buscema, guys like that, and then a lot of the fans that came afterward that hail Marshall Rogers and Mike Grell and oh shit, I'm going to get into deeper and deeper trouble. And they say the same kinds of things with, McFarlane and guys like that. Is like, no, you can't compare to what I grew up with those guys. And I see the same comparisons now. It's like the artists now, you can't compare what they're doing to McFarlane and the Image guys. I mean, it's each generation takes a step backward, in my opinion. It's not comic artists in the mainstream has not improved. It's gotten worse.
Well, it's
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd say though is that every generation has some really good artists and some really sort of not good artists. There's a lot of not great artists from the 60s and 70s that are fondly remembered because, again, people grew up, reading their
Well, there are exceptions, but I think overall, when you look back,
well, if you're looking at comics from a dynamic storytelling aspect, yes, because they become much more illustrative over the years, and that's not necessarily a good thing. You can say, well, it's really well drawn, but it's boring as sin, so does it matter if it's really well drawn if it doesn't have
Aaron, I don't know about you, but my sin is never boring.
you got a good point there.
Okay, let's break this down.
Okay.
Of your generation, Gary, who leveled up the game over the years? Just say like, okay, Jack Kirby took it to obviously a whole nother level. Then after him, who leveled up the game to where people go, oh, no, we got to go in this direction. Oh, this is
Probably Steranko.
Okay, then after Steranko.
Oh, there's a lot of guys. Wrightson.
All right, just give 5. Okay.
Neil Adams.
Brian Boland, I would say.
Yeah, but he's later.
That's later.
Oh, okay.
We're kids.
Romita.
Okay.
Buscema.
Okay. Kaluta? Michael Kaluta?
No.
I'm not a Kaluta fan.
So that
unless he's watching, I love him.
You named like 6 guys. Okay, now let's talk about my generation. Now I respect all of those guys because I grew up on those guys too. But my generation and the generation they're still influencing today are the John Burns, the Arthur Adams,
Golden,
Michael Golden, exactly.
Frank Miller.
Those influenced. It's just like when you look at, because you mentioned Mike Grell, right? And Mike Grell was really super successful, but he was doing like a riff of Neil Adams. Neil Adams not like Mike Grell.
Right.
He didn't like his art or anything. But so today you're throwing in someone like Todd McFarlane. Well, Todd McFarlane is doing his version of what Arthur Adams brought to the table. Not very well, but and
very
Michael
successfully
Golden,
though. When it comes to McFarlane, though,
Michael Golden did the web, the spaghetti webs, as McFarlane claims to have taken credit for. Michael Golden did that first.
Yeah, he stole that from
and
Golden.
So there's a whole bunch of new talent that like leveled up the game way beyond Neil Adams and all those other guys that you mentioned. As much as I love them and I put them on a pedestal, there's guys like Travis Charest. Look at this new kid, Dan Mora, is amazing. He's like a modern day Garcia Lopez, and he's just now breaking within the past, I'll say within 10 years, and he's like next level and he's producing like a madman, So,
how about Jorge Jimenez?
All of these guys stand on the shoulders of someone else, but standing on the shoulders means that they're doing something beyond what their influence is. You know what I mean? And as much as
things like you guys talk about McFarlane and now I didn't like. There's things that I like about him and things I didn't like. His Mary Jane and his people I did not like, but his Spider-Man really changed the way I draw Spider-Man with the big eyes and all that kind of stuff. I really like that addition to Spider-Man. So sometimes it's not just do you like a guy or not. It's the certain things about their art that you really like. In other parts, you don't.
Well, I think from like Gary's and my generation, it was more comics were there was a sort of expectation of what something should look like. And, you know, guys like Buscema and Romita and those guys, that's what they did. And they did it really, really well. But then you had sort of this, I guess, sort of came in a little bit with Wrightson and Barry Smith. I mean, Neil Adams was the epitome of drawing what you thought it should look like, but doing it really, really well. But then you had guys like Wrightson and Barry Smith, for example, that sort of were doing stuff a little bit more different, more interesting. They were bringing, I don't know if you want to say fine arts, but then you had, and then Golden sort of went a totally weird direction that a lot of people dug and picked up on it. And so you had like, for, you know, what, 30 or 40 years of comics, it was always, you know, arms were this long, legs were this long, torso looked like this, you know, this is human anatomy, learn how to draw human anatomy. Then you get this whole wave of people where stylization became way more important and influential than how well they drew. And so it all depends on, I guess, what you want from your artist. Billy Tucci for 5 says,
hold on.
Very nice. Billy for 5 says, when you said Bronze Age Avengers, I thought you guys would be drawing Achilles, Perseus, or Hercules. What a jip. You know, you could fit into a thimble everything that Billy knows about comics.
Wow.
I'm just.
But if you ask about military history.
No, I tell you, we make fun of Billy for like having no knowledge of comics, and yet he always is the guy that's like, yeah, that was X-Men 107, I think. And you're like, how did you know that?
Aaron, what happened to the credo about anyone who does a super chat? We give them the benefit of the doubt of their opinion.
Wait a minute, when was that?
I thought that was a thing. If he's paying for his opinion to be read, we don't argue with him.
Okay.
It's like, thank you for the dough, man.
Does that even apply to Billy, though?
I don't know. But see, that's the thing. I don't know if that really applies to Billy, though.
Okay.
Like, if John were ever to give us a super chat, which I would probably have a heart attack if that happened. But let's just say, hypothetically, John Beatty gave us does that mean that his opinion is suddenly more valued than it was otherwise?
Yes.
For me, it would.
Absolutely.
I guess it does. All right, Billy, I'm sorry. You're a freaking genius. And I apologize.
Take it back, Billy. Everything I ever said about you, I take it back.
You're the man, Billy. You're the man. No, I'm just teasing. I love Billy Tucci. And Billy Tucci, I mean, you want to talk about a guy who figured it out and how to get it done and get it done well. Billy's the guy.
Yeah, he's a machine.
And,
he's asking, we squared away for dinner at the last San Diego Comic-Con.
I'd have to go back and do the math. Billy,
he's gonna have to look at the receipts, Billy. He still has them.
Yeah, I gotta go back and check. I'm not sure if we're even or not, but I did, Billy. I have contacted our printing rep and getting dinner put together for San Diego this year for Thursday nights. So, Internet Guy for $2. How about that? Thank you, Internet Guy. Says,
wait, is this our signal for a super chat? That lame-o sound?
Well, that's his. That's more like a.
I can't. Yeah, I can't really. I can crank it up loud, but it shuts down my microphone if I do.
That's like one of those alert things, right? Like there's a a natural disaster kind of.
Yeah.
Well, it just sounds like you're sad.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and read.
Okay, well, this is not really in English, so FWIW, Billy, it's Jip, short for Gypsy, #TMYK. Thank you, Internet Guy. We'll take it under advisement. I'm not sure.
Yeah, what was that about? I don't know. We're a little slow here at the. You guys in chat. We're a little slow here in Graybeard.
No, his point is Jip is short for gypsy, so that could be offensive, but not to anybody on this show.
No. Yeah, well, I think there's people, they get their super chats in, and we greatly appreciate it. But they sometimes type so fast that we're left wondering what their true intent was.
And that's part of the problem with super chatting, is that you're making a comment on what has been said, and by the time you type it in and send it and it appears on the screen, we're on to another topic. So it doesn't always make sense. And so that's, thus the fast typing.
Right. But that doesn't mean we're not encouraging you to not send super chats. We were actually in fully endorse sending super chats at any time about any subject, whether we're through talking about it or not. And
it might help our super chat cause, Aaron, if you didn't mock people who mistype something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's stick to that guideline.
He doesn't like the sound of that one.
It's like I've got a certain brand that I have to. It's like
Aaron has a standard, everyone, that you must meet or incur his wrath.
No, he's saying his brand is to be not nice. If he's
it's like
off brand if he starts complimenting.
Yeah, exactly. If I start being nice, Gary, what's going to happen to this show? Beatty would actually feel guilty.
It's going to rain cats and
yeah.
It's all marketing.
So Dan, you want me to crank up?
He's marketing grumpiness.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let this emergency warning really go. Dan, you ready? Well, the mic will cut it way down, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay. All right.
Well, it did
sounds like someone's getting arrested though, or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and this show, it's a possibility.
Yeah, that my microphone.
I just ran around the block
and turned it way down.
What did you say, David?
I just ran around the block. I said, "Feet don't fail me now."
So, Aaron,
yes, sir.
I didn't do that just for entertainment.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just okay. Internet guy for 5 this time. Thank you, internet guy. Let's see. FWIW equals for what it's worth. See, that's like internet, like young people's internet slang. I just don't know.
This is the Graybeards.
Exactly.
We don't know this lingo.
Hashtag TMYK. The more you know. I see. I'm used to being the old guy. I forget sometimes that there are really old guys. Yeah, that would you're looking at him.
You catch my drift, Daddy-O?
Yeah.
There's another one, Aaron.
Oh, he's a monster. Now this is interesting. He's giving us 99 cents because he realizes that 99 cents isn't really actually worth putting in a comment for. You got to like up it up a little bit if you're going to say something. But we do appreciate the 99 cents because that's like a million times more than John Beatty's ever given us. So
that's true. And Aaron,
yes.
Billy.
Oh, we got another Billy.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy.
Dollar value and grief.
Who first ushered in the Bronze Age? Was it Marvel with Amazing Spider-Man 122 or DC's groundbreaking and illegal drug promoting? You friggin' nerds. Okay, well, actually, you're wrong, Billy, on both those. It is the controversy is between Conan #1 and Green Lantern, Green Arrow number 76. Is that the first Neil Adams issue? 76, right? Yeah. So that's the two issues that people argue about because they came out just weeks apart, and and I think Conan was the first one out, but so they will argue about which of those comics, landmark comics, started the Bronze Age. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all week.
Yeah, I was just going to say, all of us normal people are wondering how you know this.
Well, Gary, I'm a collector. I'm a fan and a collector before I became a semi-professional.
Okay.
He's a monster for Nerd. 1999. Are you kidding me? Thank you. Thank you for that. And no comment, but wow. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it. So now your opinion has more weight around here.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Freaka Boogie says, wouldn't it be Conan hands down? Well, I don't know. I mean, why would you think it would be Conan, hands down? I mean, it's
Yeah, when I ever think of Conan, I think of him as with hands up.
This is so bad.
wah, wah, wah. No, I just don't think that I always thought it was Conan, but there is a
Aaron,
yeah.
Dan, David, the chat is asking me to let her rip. So here we go.
Well, see, it started off really, really loud, and then it cut out. So we got some of it though.
Yep.
Yeah, my microphone shuts off.
Do you remember those old handheld tape recorders we used to have when we were kids, and they had those condenser mics on them? And so if you yelled, it would do that. So you couldn't do you try and record like your dramatic reading of something, or you doing a skit or whatever, and you were like, somebody would raise their voice and it would ruin the whole recording. Hated that. I don't really understand the value of a condenser.
Uh-oh.
No, it just strikes me funny after all that long explanation that you say, I hated that. I don't know. Why did they do that?
Still mad about it.
They've ruined his childhood.
It did. Internet guy for $2 says he's a monster. Says he enjoys the stream. Thank you. So you have one guy sending a super chat, then another guy sending us another super chat to interpret what the first guy said in his super chat or didn't say.
I like that. We need interpreters.
Exactly. Sequential Artist for 10 says Billy chiming in reminded me of an idea I had for She, in which she goes back in time to help Ben-Hur in his chariot race. I call it She-Her.
Awesome.
That's the first joke that Sequential Artist has ever posted that I actually laughed at.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to blow him up for that.
Excellent idea.
Hey, speaking of Billy,
Billy's like, oh dear Lord.
Speaking of Billy, I just finished a cover for his new book, Ran, and I am just about to bust not being able to show it yet. So I got to get the permission from him first. But man, I think it's really cool, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, what do you think of it, Dan?
I'm really happy with it. Wait, what was what am I supposed to say?
So are you asking Billy now if you could show it? Is that what you're doing?
No, I don't. I'm assuming not yet, but actually, I still got to do a couple of changes on it. But
Billy's never asked me to do a cover, but what are you gonna do?
I know, never asked me.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you don't draw hot chicks.
I don't draw hot chicks.
I draw the ladies, man.
Okay. See, now
interesting question from. Oh, I'm scrolling here. From Mickey, who coined the term Bronze Age of comic books? What's the origin of that,
bronze
Aaron?
Coin?
Well, it had to have been through the collector's market, I would assume, but I don't know, honestly.
Because there was a golden age, wasn't there? That's
right
before the Bronze Age, but that was like the very beginnings of comics.
My guess is it has something to do with the Overstreet Guide. Someone associated with that probably is who coined those, because it's obviously a collector's thing. But your golden age is Action Comics #1, which is 1938 through 1956, when the Flash, Silver Age Flash, first appeared in Showcase #4, is the beginning of the Silver Age, and the Silver Age then goes into either Conan #1 or Green Lantern, Green Arrow 76, and that's the beginning of the Bronze Age. And then there's some question about when the Bronze Age ends and the Copper Age, which is the 80s, started. Some say 1979 because it had Frank Miller's first issue of Daredevil, but also was the first, I believe 79 was the first direct sales comic shop. I tend to look at anything in the 70s is still Bronze Age. I think Simonson's Thor in 1983 started the Copper Age. That's my personal opinion, but that again is debatable. So there you go.
And of course, recently the Periwinkle Age has kicked in.
Well, they quit doing that, and it's like everything after. I think Jim Lee's X-Men #1 is just considered the modern age now. So
it's kind of like music. They sort of had they all had their types of music, and then when it reached the 2000s, it's just sort of like it's just music.
Yep, people got tired. I mean, we're running out of medals right now, and there were also before Action Comics #1. We go back to the early 30s. That's called the Platinum Age, prior to the Golden Age. So,
Nikki says Soy Age.
Soy Age.
yeah, we're definitely in that. Except on this show, this is all testosterone, baby.
Yeah. No whippy.
I think if you gathered all the testosterone from these 4 graybeards, I don't think it would fill a thimble.
Well, but you got to kind of go back to when they were younger and imagine the testosterone levels at that point.
Okay, all right.
Then they were off the charts.
You would need buckets.
Buckets.
Yeah, off the charts.
Yep. Look out.
Yeah. Well, we're super tough artists.
That's right.
Those guys with their fine lines and their
yeah, you criticize our art around here, and we'll slit your face.
Yeah.
We'll draw a funny caricature of you.
We'll teach you.
It hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Gonna hurt your feelings. Some of us masqueraded as athletes for a period of time.
That's true.
I used to hide my comic collection in my closet, so if I ever had a girl come over, she wouldn't know that I was secretly a geek.
You had a girl come over?
You hid them?
Oh, yeah. I didn't let anybody know the truth.
Yeah, it was funny. You did kind of hide it back then, didn't you? Like it's like being gay,
I think being gay was more acceptable at that point.
Come out of the closet. This meant something different for comic artists.
That's right.
Your long boxes just came out of the closet.
Did your dad say, could you try not being a comic book nerd?
Oh, my dad didn't get it at all. But thankfully, like I said, I was an athlete, so I had that to kind of fall back on. And my mom was very supportive, though, of my art. My dad didn't get it at all. Get a real job. What are you kidding me? No.
I did do a lecture from my dad once about buying comics. Dan, you don't want to spend all your money on comics.
Yep.
I didn't have any money. I was a paper boy,
I spent all my money on comics, and up till I was 16 and got a car. And then it was like, okay, no, wait a minute. I have the potential to take girls out on dates, and I got to get gas in this thing. And so, yeah, the comics didn't quite have the same level of importance in my life at that point.
I was a athlete.
Were you not?
But
do tell.
I was, I kept that bench nice and warm. You know what I'm saying?
he was on the end of the bench drawing pictures there in the back.
So are you saying that it takes well-formed, highly conditioned glutes to keep the bench warm?
Absolutely. So
Where's we're all going to a party. Where's Dan? Oh, he's in the gym doing squats. He's toughening up his glutes for the big game.
Sliding along that bench, warming it up.
Poor Dan.
I was second string. I did play football in high school. I didn't start though. But I was a running back. I was so.
Were you really? Look at you.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. You know, you're when I did get to go in, when we were either really winning or really losing.
Yeah.
You know, you get the quarterback hands you that ball, and all of a sudden you look up and there's like 11 people just wanting to kill you, you know. And you just run into them and crash into them. So it was a lot of fun. You know, I got more hurt playing basketball than I ever did football, because you don't football, you're protected with armor, you know, kind of.
Well, you got hurt playing basketball?
Yeah, just knees, you know, banging your knees, hitting someone else's knee or something like that, or someone steps on your toe and chip your toe or something, you know, that kind of thing.
I think I had a sprained ankle, a lightly sprained ankle my sophomore year, and that's the only time I ever got hurt playing basketball.
Really? I sprained my ankle every single season that I played, every year. And football, you know, like Dan, I didn't think that I was ever going to get hurt because of all the pads. So I was fearless, you know, just crashing into guys until we were at a mixed practice. I was on the sophomore team, and we did a scrimmage with the varsity. And I was playing tight end. I went out to our coach was playing quarterback and said, "Okay, Gary, you go, you know, run about 15 yards and do a button hook, and I'll fake the pass and then go long." And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to burn this, you know, varsity guy who's guarding me. So I, you know, run my route. I do a button hook. I stop. I look for the ball. He gives me the fake, and the middle linebacker levels me. Because back then,
just lit you up.
If the quarterback has not thrown the ball, it was fair. The receivers were fair game.
That's right. It's not pass interference.
Yeah, I had no idea where I was. They had to carry me off to the locker room. I mean, and this guy was like all league, you know. I mean, he was a legitimate linebacker.
Yeah, I remember once I was on. Of course, they put you on special teams. It's like special ed. No, it's
that's why they call it special.
So I'm
well,
on
this year we're renaming the squad the special team in honor of Dan Lawless.
So, anyways, you know, they're kicking off, and we're kicking off, and you run down the field and try to block someone, take someone out. So I made the mistake of, you know, there's those guys that kind of have that neck pad around. It look like they're, you know, I don't know, some kind of superhero. Yep. And I thought, okay, that's the guy I'm taking out, you know, much bigger than me. And so I go at him, and he just flattened me like a bug on the windshield. Yeah. I'm just laying on my back like, oh.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even there. So,
I was running black at my school because all those white boys chasing me.
Okay. All right.
He's a Monster says, and my ghetto ass, I'll be right there looking for Gary. Like, yeah, bring your lanky ass this way. Come to daddy. Yep, that's exactly what's going on.
Let's see. Oh, the Vespa guy. How about that? The Vespa guy for $10. Thank you, Vespa. He says, what has been going on today's stream? Coming in late, and the first thing I hear is Gary threatening to cut up people's faces. Gangster pimping energy for sure. Hail Graybeards.
What part was that?
Yeah, threatened people who didn't like our artwork.
Gonna cut him up. Oh,
that's from Monty Python, where the guy's doing a street. He's asking people about these women about Wizzo butter. You know, do you like it or not? I guess they're comparing it to the taste of a dead crab. And the women say, "Oh, I recognize you. You're that guy who goes on TV and asks people about Whizzle Butter." And he's like, "Oh yeah, false modesty." And then she says, "You try that around here, and we'll slit your face."
Well, I never played football at the high school level because I broke my arm 3 times by my sophomore year doing various different things.
Wow.
And
I said, "Wow."
yeah, I had a couple assists in my thankfully were not cancerous, but in my bones that made like hollow spots in my bones, so just like ridiculous things, and they would snap. And so I was like too afraid to get because basketball was my sport, and I was like, I didn't want to get injured playing football and not be able to play basketball. So
right. Oh, we got another
one. Evil One for 5. Hey, Chris, glad to catch you guys watching and taking a nap. Are you? Wait a minute. Are you saying that we're watching and we put you to sleep?
Watching and taking a nap.
Okay, so we're helping him sleep. Say F Brian Polito for what he did to me, and I'll send you more stuff, Aaron. Sending your stuff soon, bro. I'm.
What is that referring to?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that. I don't even know Brian. I would not say that about someone. You're fine. You can, obviously. I don't have any personal experience with Brian. Stealth X5 for $2, sending us a glass of milk, a chocolate bar, some spaghetti. Not sure what is that I'm not sure what that is. A bowl of, is that steaming vegetables, or is that, I don't know. Toasted cheese sandwich, a bagel, although it doesn't look like there's anything on the bagel. So I don't know about the bagel. Yeah, dry bagel. Pineapple, and then what is that, a kiwi? Not sure.
You know how much mileage Stealth has gotten with his menus for only $2? We probably spend more time on his $2, but it's so intriguing. It's like, what is he sending us now?
It sounds like you're doing a bit for Johnny Carson's Karnak,
Yeah, I know. What's on
the menu today?
Yeah, exactly. Evil One says I'm a wuss. Now, Chris, I would never speak ill of anybody that I don't know the story, and I probably wouldn't speak ill of him anyway because that's just not who I am.
Yeah, and if he knows the story, he can't wait to. Mickey's asking me, did I tell Graybeards about my cousin who was arrested? No, because he's not my cousin. She sent me this thing where it is a list of people who have bamboozled the government out of millions of dollars. And some guy named Gary Martin got I don't know, I can't remember like 150 million from, some bogus thing. And she's like, is this your cousin?
Is this you, Gary?
Is your cousin Andrew Lesko?
Who?
Remember that guy?
No.
That guy, he did all those crazy ads. He had the question mark coat. He talked about, you can get all this kind of money from the government. You can open up a coffee shop.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wait, that's the Riddler, isn't it, with the question mark on his coat?
No, I know who you're talking about.
Andrew Lesko, I think his name was.
Internet Guy for another $2. Thank you, Internet Guy. Says, who would you speak ill of?
Well, let me get you started.
I seriously, I don't know that I've ever publicly called anybody out for anything. I just don't think that's. You never know who you might end up working for down the line, and so
I don't recall you doing that.
Well, there's a lot of people that can't come on this show because what you've said. Lots of great creative people who completely burned the bridge on.
Yeah, well, that was by accident, though. I didn't do it on purpose. No, I mean, I was always brought up, you know, the dumb saying, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But it goes deeper than that, because anytime you say something about somebody that's really negative and potentially damaging, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be the guy that's responsible for. I'd rather let someone, if they're going to screw up their life or career, I'd like them to do it on their own without my help. So
if we followed that credo, Aaron, we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Well, true. I mean, after they're dead, it's okay, I guess. So I can sit there and say, yeah, that's Steve Ditko, you know, whatever. But I wouldn't do that if he was alive.
I don't know. I think you'd be more afraid of the ghost coming after Steve Ditko coming after you.
The ghost of Steve Ditko. You know, he did do quite a bit of those Tales to Astonish and Tales. You know, we were doing monster stories and stuff before the Marvel universe actually broke, superhero universe.
Yeah, and he did a lot of that stuff for DC.
Yeah. So maybe I should.
Yeah, don't mock the dead, man. All right, we need a news.
Well, there are plenty of comic book artists that maybe I don't like, that their artwork that are gone, that I still wouldn't say anything about because there's too many fans of their work and they would turn on me. Evil One, $2, sending you a letter about it.
Kirby?
No, I met Jack once. He was a nice guy. I met him at his birthday party that was Image was throwing it for him or something at San Diego. I just walked in and was like, oh my gosh, this is Kirby's birthday party. And there's Jack standing there. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I said hi to him, but that was about it. Shook his hand.
Gary, did you meet Kirby?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep.
And did you talk to him in any way, or and at length or anything like that? Or?
Yep.
Well, that's interesting. Are you going to say anything about it?
It's a very private moment. Evil One for $2 says, sending you a letter about it. Okay. He's going to fill me in instead of a Hulk 181. Well, I guess if I can't, that better be a pretty valuable letter if that's, between the two. Of course, Hulk 181 for you non-believers is for Prince Wolverine.
No, Gary, you meeting a legend like Kirby isn't a yes or no question.
Why not?
Because you got to tell us about it. Yes, and then follow up and this is what happened.
Of course, when I met Jack and we had a
yes, I want to hear it. I do.
All right. Hang on a second. Internet guy for $2. Ghost of Steve Ditko. Supplemental. Yeah, maybe I should do the Ghost of Steve Ditko. Could I get sued if I did a comic book called The Ghost of Steve Ditko?
You could get haunted, though. That's the problem.
Ronan, I like this. Ronan says, Aaron was brought up with 2 lessons. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And the classic speak ill of the dead. I think I missed the part where they said, don't speak ill of the dead. They just, so I just grabbed onto the other. Deb Koth-Schnelly says, so who here is going to do a pit cover for Dale? Yeah, I'm sure he can't wait to call me and say, Aaron.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, we are at the top of his list.
Sequential for 10. Possible Karnak bit. The Untouchables. Tears open envelope. What TV show should be brought back with the Avengers Visions as the lead? Oh my gosh.
What? I'm sure he has an answer to this.
Hang on.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Sorry, that was so bad I had to do it 3 times. But thank you for the $10. I mean, if you're going to make us, read jokes that are that bad, at least you should pay us.
I didn't understand the joke.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the only way we do appreciate. See, that's my point. Is like we appreciate it, even though. Never mind.
I didn't understand the joke.
Art question. Mickey's asking, what do you guys use to flatten art that was rolled for a long period of time? By long, I mean years.
My butt.
10 years, she's saying.
If you have access to a heat press, and actually any framing shop will have one, that works. And sometimes they'll press it for free, or you can pay them, you know, marginal fee or a minimal fee, and they will press it for you. That's one way to do it. The other way is, well, it depends how much time you have, but if you have like a big table, you can roll it out on and put a bunch of really heavy books on it for especially the corners, and leave it for, you know,
A long time. Yeah, I've done
a
that.
long couple weeks. That'll work as well.
Yeah.
So
You know, I have a lot of sketches. When I did that Conan cover, Savage Sword of Conan cover 231, I had a lot of sketches that I did, and I did it on layout paper, and that has all buckled and wrinkled. I don't know how it got moisture on it, but it's not like water damage, but it's just really, really wrinkly. And I'm wondering, you know, what to do with them, how to get those wrinkles out, and how to flatten that thing back up again, and mount it. You know,
how big is it?
they're pretty big pieces of paper. You know,
I'm serious. Go to a frame shop, and they will have a heat press there, like that they use for like laminating and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can ask them to flatten it.
Yeah,
because somebody actually was asking about it years ago. He wanted to buy that stuff, and I was like, I told him, well, you know, it's terribly wrinkled, you know, and I said I'm going to try it, but I never got around to, you know, getting to find out about it, ways to flatten it out. But they're pretty cool drawings, you know, all that prelim stuff that I did. Maybe next, you know, Graybeards, I'll bring it out and show you guys what the condition.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, Aaron.
Yes.
It's that period in the show where I ask you, what's the time situation?
The time situation, Gary, it's interesting because it is 4 o'clock. Let's try and can we wrap this up in 15 minutes or so? Is that possible? And while we're waiting, Gary, I'm sure you have something you would like to complain about. I'm just guessing that there might be.
You know me too well.
Here we go.
What's Gary's beef?
My beef this week is Sports Clips Barbershop.
Okay.
I got a haircut recently, and I decided to take advantage of their online waiting system where you can like get a spot in line. So I'm not waiting there like a chump.
Now these are the ones that have like all the girls there, right?
It's a sports themed establishment where they have multiple screens playing all kinds of sports and posters and the salon women, whatever you call them, barbers, all are wearing jerseys, and you know.
So when you go in, do you point at a picture and say, "Yes, I want that Mike Ditka cut"?
Exactly. So I go online, I make my, you know, I'm gonna tell them when I'm gonna show up, and so like in theory, I just walk in and they, you know, take me right away. So I'm not waiting, right? So as I'm filling the thing out, it asks, do you want a specific stylist or it's, you know, next available person? So I click next available person. And it happens to be Mallory.
Okay, good old Mallory.
Good old Mallory. So I go in.
If it was Tina, it would have been classic.
And so Mallory comes over and says, "Oh, you're Gary, right? Yes. Okay, we have you. You're checked in." And then they have a scoreboard that tells you how long your wait is. And I'm 10 minutes early, right? So I think, you know, 10 minutes, I can wait 10 minutes. So I sit down and I look at the scoreboard and it tells me your waiting time is 25 minutes. It's like, what? My appointment was 10 minutes from now. How is it? It's just like, okay, well, it is what it is. So I'm waiting, and I've been there about 20 minutes. Some guy comes in off the street, and they have a little check-in system. So he uses their little computer thing, checks in, and then I look up on the board, his name pops up under mine. That's like, I'm still waiting like another 15 minutes. Under mine, his name pops up, waiting time 8 minutes for Julie. I was like, hey, I'm thinking this. I just came in off the street. I mean, he came in off the street and he's going to get his haircut in 8 minutes. I made a reservation and I had to wait 25.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can't be that guy, even despite what everybody thinks, to complain. I just like, it's too late, so I just let it play out. So I finally get there and I sit down and this girl is giving me Mallory is giving me the hard sell for like all the products that they have.
Uh-huh.
Do you use, what do they call it? Hair treatment. We have a sale on, she kicks into her speech and I don't, I'm a wash and go kind of guy, never put anything in my hair. And I'm trying to explain that to her. Oh, okay, that's all right. And so she gives me the haircut and then she starts talking about the shampoo that they're having a sale on the special shampoo. And she's giving me all the, the virtues of this shampoo. Mm-hmm. It's only made from, natural ingredients and blah, blah, blah. She's going on and on and on. And I can't interrupt her to tell her that the shampoo I buy is from Winco. And before I can get that out, I know she's going to be horrified when I mention it. She says, it comes in 4-ounce bottles and it's on sale for $22.
4 ounces for $22.
Exactly. And it's like, okay. And I tell her, you're going to be horrified. I buy Suave shampoo.
Yeah.
A 30-ounce bottle is $3. And of course, she's horrified that I would buy such a, inferior product. Mm-hmm. So we're wrapping up the haircut, and then she says, "Oh, would you like the triple play?" I was like, "What is she? What is she talking about?
Lottery tickets?
Sports theme." I asked her, "What's the triple play?" And she's like, pauses and looks at me. It's like, and she's actually surprised that I don't know what the triple play is. Well, the triple play is for only $6 more, you get a hot towel, a shampoo, and a scalp massage.
She did this after she gave you the cut?
As she's wrapping up the haircut.
Wow. Did you do that before?
No, because the shampoo should have come before she started the cutting. I was like, okay, first of all, I'm thinking, how am I going to tell her this? A scalp massage, a hot towel would be nice. A scalp massage and a shampoo from a stranger is kind of intimate. No, thank you. I don't want to be lying there with my eyes closed, moaning while I'm getting this massage.
And it could be like Elmer Fudd.
She could tell I'm thinking about it. And she says, well, I can see, by our records, because they have stats of when he had been there before and the kind of haircut you want, what side do you part your hair on? And, they have this written down for them. I could see that you taken advantage of our senior discount. Well, yeah. And then she says, as a senior, you deserve the hot towel. It's like, okay, you're crossing the line here, Toots. Does that mean that any schlub off the street that isn't a senior doesn't deserve the hot towel? So I told, tell her no, thank you, and all that. So finally cut my hair and all this stuff, and I go over to pay. And there's this huge, thing that tallies your tip percentage.
Oh my God.
And it starts at 20% and it goes up to 100%. And it's like, okay, I'm paying for this haircut, right? Why would I tip you for the haircut? Where's the 0 button? I don't say that, but there's an other button. So I have to press the other button. And she's seeing that it's taking some time. So she's explaining to me how to give her a tip. So as she's talking about how to give her a tip, I find, other button, hit the other button. So you fill in your amount and I click 0 and she sees it on her screen. That shuts her up. She gives me the receipt and I'm out of there. So luckily I got out of there with just the $25 haircut and not the $22 shampoo, not the $6 triple play. But she kept going on about the triple play. It's the triple play. How can you not want it? That kind of attitude. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Well,
okay, so that's sports clips, everyone.
So not the ideal customer for a haircut. You are.
Oh my goodness.
You're supposed to tip the girl. What?
Well, I mean, I guess, if she's selling you the whole time and you're kind of like, can you just cut my hair? Then maybe you don't want to tip her.
Yeah,
no,
still tip.
You're saying
everybody wants a tip. I mean, even us graybeards.
Yeah, we want tips.
Super chats are.
That's what I'm saying. What do you want? You're asking about tips, and want to give this poor woman a tip?
If you enjoyed that story, please tip heavily.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, everyone's closing their wallets right now. Like,
no, hang on a second. If we charged everybody $10 to watch this show, right, and then demanded a tip on top of it, then you've got a problem.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. I agree with Gary.
Yeah, we should be paying them $10 to watch our show.
I know. I was going to go. If they had to pay $10 for this, they'd be getting ripped off. But so anyway.
But
All
yeah,
right,
Sean Willis is right. I should have tipped her. So I didn't realize. I decided on the drive home that I was going to use that as my beef. It wasn't like, if I had a thought of that at the place, then I would have tipped her.
All right, you know what? As we get ready to wrap this up, folks, let me take a moment to share stuff we've got going on.
I'll switch back. I'm stopping
because we don't do a good enough job of we do okay on tips on this show, but we got to let everybody know that we're all working on projects that we'd like you to at least consider backing. And mine, of course, is the very exciting Wraith of God 3 Fear Hollow. We hit 1,100 backers, which is very exciting. I want to thank you all for that. And but look at $3 away from 80,800. So that makes it $203 away from 81,000. We've already hit 3 stretch goals on this campaign. You have 4 cover options here.
What's the next stretch goal?
The next stretch goal is 100K, and that's David Williams' story, backup story.
Oh, come on. I mean, that's a goal worthy to,
It is. And I got to finish that script so we can finish the story. I'm as bad as Ethan. He's waiting for pages from me. But anyway, this is the Wraith of God, Esther, face off against the Headless Horseman this time around in the 3rd installment of the Wraith of God series, the critically acclaimed, Gary, Wraith of God series. So, and this one will be wrapping up at the end of the summer here, and hopefully we'll get a quick print job and be shipping early fall. So you don't want to miss this campaign, just full of like colored pictures and stuff. It's like in Technicolor. Lots of add-ons.
Pray tell, what pop culture aficionados rated this book highly?
Everybody, Gary. I can't.
Well,
there's
okay.
so many to
the list is too long
to the Curtis brothers, Kyle and gosh darn it, what's his brother's name? Now I'm in trouble.
Aaron's mom.
highest rating out of all the Comicsgate books. So there you go. You don't want to miss this one, folks. And but anyway, the link is in the description of this video. Take you right there if you'd like to check it out and get more details on it. Another guy that we have, Fearsome, which David Williams is drawing, shared a few pages earlier. He's just a
Play the
few
trailer
pages from being. Oh, this is a good trailer.
Yeah, it's a great trailer. No sound. Oh, wait.
Can you hear it?
Where's this? You need the sound, man. You gotta get the sound.
No sound?
Yeah, I gotta get that sound going.
You know, StreamYard changed stuff up on me, and so I apologize.
I wonder if I could
The
find
sound
it
was
online.
going in and out on your Marvel superhero clip.
Well, I know how to do it. I just didn't click the right thing because they switched it up on me. Okay, let's try this again. Whoop. Here we go. Now you should be able to hear it.
Nope.
We don't need the sound. Just take in the artwork.
I will play the trailer. Hang on a second. Because the sound is everything.
Well, it's just music.
But that music is. Are you ready? Put a
You still couldn't. You still didn't hear it?
No.
Nope.
Oh, for crying out loud! I did everything right too. Oh well. Anyway,
ready? No. Share my screen. Share my screen.
We're gonna do it until we drive every customer away. Okay, we'll try one
If
more
you get
time.
the sound. Have you
Hang
got
on a
mine?
second.
Share.
Yeah, I got it right. Oops. Sorry, David.
Kick me out.
Yeah, it was an accident. There we go.
All right, let's see if this works.
All right.
Okay, now I'm gonna battle.
Yeah, that nice psycho theme there. Very nice.
Isn't that great? That's why I said you got to have the music with that one because it's
Yep.
so cool.
I don't know why it wasn't playing. It should
And
have
that's
played.
by the way, the music matches the spirit of the story. It is a kind of psychotic thriller kind of thing. It's really quite interesting, kind of small town.
But you've got a David Williams cover. You've got the Ethan Van Sciver cover. It looks like a Shane Davis cover. I did a cover, but it's not featured on here, which, you know, I'm not going to take it personal. Some great interior pages here by David. Kind of preview this. Great colors by Jason Wright, who's also coloring Wraith of God as well.
Jason's so good, man.
Yep.
His color palette is so sophisticated. It's beautiful.
Yep. So this is a really nice project, you guys, and it's 2 issues. You get 2 issues with this, and David, like I said, is only, well, David and Ethan are only about 13 pages from being done with it. So it won't be that much longer before this thing is ready to ship. So you guys want to back sooner than later. Gary has his, doggone it.
Gary has his doggone it.
Yep, there it is. There's his doggone it right there. You want to talk about this a little bit, Gary?
My art book, 130 spectacular pages.
No
Do
Bruce.
not stand in front of the Golden Gate as you're trying to get into heaven and try to explain why you did not buy a copy of this book.
Wow. And it's ready to go. I mean, you order it and it ships out right
Yes,
away.
I have boxes of them that I'm trying to unload. So please.
Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not what he meant to say. He meant to say that he overprinted to meet the demand, and so get them while they're still available.
Yeah, John wants to know if does it come with a triple play? Yeah, I will personally come to your abode and give you a scalp massage.
Oh God, I'm getting uncomfortable. And then, of course, I want everybody to be aware of.
I always thought it'd be great to get a scalp massage from Bugs Bunny, you know, like he did Elmer Fudd.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That'd be a really good one. He gets his fingers in there.
If hair would grow, like on the cartoon, Dan Lawless's website, Dan.
Yeah, they got a bunch of original art up there. If you just click on if you click on that image, it takes you right to the page, or you can go to the top. There's a bunch of stuff. Oh, look at the Popeye ones up there. So if people want to.
Well, you sound surprised.
Who put that on
your website? Isn't this your website? You have some stooge doing this work for you.
Hey, Dan. Well, I got short-term memory. I don't have that.
That's right. It's getting older, but yeah. So this is a really cool website. You got some original artwork up there for sale. So if people want to visit there for one of these.
I'll put up more. There's more going up there. So
do you have any merchandise yet? Not yet.
I do have merchandise, but it's just Redbubble. I'd rather people focus on the original art.
There you go. All right. So you'll find a link for every one of these, the campaigns, Gary's book, Dan's website, all in the description of this video. Take you right there. Please check them out at your leisure. We greatly appreciate your support. But now let's take a look at what we've done today. Now, I feel this is a success, Gary. I feel good about this. So I think maybe I've conquered my vision demons here.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Yeah,
focus.
I like that.
There it is. Yeah, so
it's kind of got a Frazetta feel, actually.
Now we know why Wanda was attracted to him.
Yeah, what a studly guy. Coming up through the floor there.
Doesn't it have a kind of Rosetta feel, like just the movement, the body?
I'll take that and say thank you, Dan.
Say yes.
Yes, it does. Of course it does. I always had trouble getting what I thought was an interesting looking face because Buscema always did like the best face for him.
Yeah.
Of course, Neil Adams did too.
And
I could never get a good face that I was really happy with. And I think this one's solid. So
Aaron, whatever you do not read John's comment.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Rand Arrington says I'm vision cursed. Ouch. This one I still know the wasted 3 hours ending.
Yep.
Okay, Dan. All right, John. All right. I'm remembering all this stuff.
And he also responded to my comment about it being Frazetta-like. He says, no.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No, hey.
Brutal. He's brutal.
You can't just say no. He has to let it marinate first.
No, I'm just going to leave it up here longer.
Seriously, Dan.
I'm leaving it up here forever now. Vespa guy for $10. Mallory works for Gary now. She got horrified. Oh my boy. Gosh. Woo! Rand Arrington for 20. Great show, guys. Very funny. Great story, Pimp Daddy G. I'm looking forward to all of the projects getting completed and hitting the mailbox. We are too. Internet guy for $2. Dan, I still want that commission. Lol.
Sure.
Why is he laughing, Dan?
I don't know. Is he saying that? All right. So
because I'm laughable. I don't know.
No, here, this is interesting because David actually had this drawn before we started and he's still not done with it.
Yeah, what the heck?
Because I'm inking. It has nothing to do with it. Inking is difficult.
Okay.
You hear that, everybody?
Inking is difficult.
Yep.
Excellent piece, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is fun. A lot of fun.
I was talking to David on the phone not too long ago, suggesting that he finished that Halloween Girl piece that when Barrington was on the show.
Fearsome.
He sort of mocked me, but I would love to see that piece finished. That was really cool. But so is this, and we'd love to see this finished too, David.
Yeah.
So, David, did you buy that skull
Wow, that
just for doing
enthusiasm.
fearsome?
No, I just
Did
had
you buy
it.
that just to do fearsome?
No, not at all.
That's from his toy box.
I got a couple skulls. All right. David, very nice. Dan, let's see what you have to offer. Oops, I just kicked him. Why did I do that? There we go. Black Panther without a leg.
No, he's
El Gato Negro.
Well, we did sort of shortchange. We didn't work that long because there was quite a bit of.
I got to put it. There's a tree going up there, to cover up so I can't. So
Oh, okay. I see. He's coming from behind a tree.
There's going to be a tree right here. He's in a jungle. It's going to be a lot of vines and stuff.
So there's stuff.
Trust me, it's going to be good.
No, I like it.
It's good.
I'm just saying that we kind of got shortchanged today because we started late because of a conversation backstage, and then we got started drawing late because we were chatting it up. So,
man, am I good?
There you
go, Dad.
What else can you say?
There you go. Stop beating around the bush. Just
what else can you say? So anyway, all right, guys, that's going to wrap this show up for this week. I want to say thank you to everybody for the super chats. I want to thank you all for joining us. Please hit the like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. We greatly appreciate you guys' participation. We could not do the show without you. We're hoping one day to do it without John Beatty, but maybe we probably won't get that.
Wait, I thought you were going to say we were hoping to do without you. We can't do the show without you. We're hoping to do the show without you.
But we decided we can't do it without you.
If we get picked up by a podcast, if you get picked up by
how much we insult you, we just we can't do it.
Hopefully to get syndicated by a radio show or something like that. We don't have to deal with a chat at all.
I think you're reading between the lines, man.
Someone sponsor this show.
You're reading between the lines. I never said that. I was not implying that. But no, we do love you guys. And we appreciate it very much. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Tune in to Landing Party at 5 o'clock Pacific time on Graham Nolan's channel, so we can talk about Star Trek with Ron Garney and that Star Wars girl. And until then, we'll see you next
John
week.
said something nice. You got it. Oh my God, this is weird.
What John did?
Yeah.
Peace, love, and soul.
Whoa, what are we going to do with that?
We're going to end the stream before David runs out of breath. See you guys.
Corn dogs. Corn dogs. Corn dogs.